to that.
Catch me, I'm ballin'. Catch me like Spalding. Catch me like Spalding's. PMD, VMC, vitamin like GNC. Can't see me like BIG on CNT. Did a little bit of time on BMG. But this right here, homie, this all me. Can you down? No, CMB, that's cold, that ain't nice, G. So what though? Lil' homie remind me of Ice-T. By the way, we share the same birthday. The wordplay is work, but flipping is easy. So catch me, I'm ballin'. I'm sick too if you ain't catch me like coughing. Back when I said you should catch me like Spalding. It's cool, cause most cats that I bump into can't catch me that often. Most times I just end up falling. Ball for a few, then end up walking. Catch me in the ball with a Cinderella waltzing. And I do it till it's no longer exclusive. Might go once, might go twice, but never 3 times like an auction.
Hello and welcome to the Hardwood with Cameron Sadeghi. I am your host, Cameron Sadeghi here. We have a lot to talk about, yes, on this podcast. Yes, this is recorded. It will be available for all of you to listen here today. So, I know I haven't been here for a week. I didn't do a show last week. I apologize. I just didn't have enough time, unfortunately, to fit it in. So, today, I have the time. Today, we have a lot to discuss. Here are the 6 topics that we're going to discuss. We'll talk more if we have additional topics to talk about as well. But these are the main ones. The Lakers, they won today. However, Dwight Howard, he's not even close to good shape. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Andrew Bynum. Wait, he's going to practice for the first time in a very long time? We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about, are the Thunder a championship team? And you may say, well, you're crazy to even ask that. I'm not asking whether or not they will make the finals. I'm asking, will they win the finals? I'll tell you why not. I'll also talk about Andrew Bogut, who, as you know, the Warriors center, all-star caliber. He's just going through a ton of injuries, and everything is just going downhill for Bogut, and we'll talk about him as well. Also, Tony Parker. Many are calling him MVP this year. I'll tell you why he isn't, and how there are 3 other guys ahead of him right now. Also, we'll break down the NBA divisions and the NBA playoff picture and all the teams trying to scramble to get in the playoffs in the last stretch of the year. Alright, so let's start with the very, very big story about Dwight Howard. He is, unfortunately for him, he is not even close to shape. He even said, quote, "I am not even close." This is a story by Slam Online. This is what he had to say. He said, according to the LA Times, or this is, their staff wrote this. According to the LA Times, the Lakers big man says he's still got a ways to go before he's back to 100%. Dwight Howard isn't Dwight Howard. He's not the dunk-tastic, shot-blocking force of energy under the basket that he used to be. But why? The Lakers center continues to point back to surgery last April. It's been one of the biggest factors. And then he goes on to saying, coming off the injury, I only had 4 weeks to get ready for the season, which was training camp and then preseason. I didn't really have a chance to get in good shape. It's hard trying to get in shape during the season, playing a lot of minutes and traveling. I'm not even close. I used to play 45 to 48 minutes without really getting tired. Now I have 5 possessions and I'm winded. I know I'm not here, but all this stuff will come. ... ellipse. I just know how much more effective I will be in better shape, and that just comes with time. Unfortunately, it costs us a lot of games, but we've got an opportunity to make history. I'm going to try and do whatever I can to help this team win. You know, look, I really respect Dwight Howard a lot, and I personally, I don't like it when Kobe Bryant is calling out Dwight Howard. I've made that very clear, and I think that's kind of inappropriate on Kobe Bryant's part. Look, I like Kobe Bryant a lot, but Kobe's need to stop with some of his criticism of his teammates in front of the public. You don't criticize your teammates outright, out front, in front of media members, and put your team and label your teammates in a negative fashion. You don't do that. That's not a real, true, nice teammate. You need to be able to talk that in-house, private, not in front, not public, not being confrontational. And I think that Dwight, it's really hard to get back in shape right now because you don't have that many games left. You're trying to make a playoff push, and there are going to be some tough road trips they're going to have to go through. I just don't know. If they want to keep him for the future, I think they should just shut him down. Personally, they should shut him down for the rest of the season, because if you want to keep him for the future, that's what you got to do. But and honestly, if you really think you're going to make the playoffs, and I've heard Kobe say that, and everyone believes in that Laker land, put him in. You're taking a chance. He's going to get worn down, though. And it's not his fault, okay? Injuries happen. It's the game. It's the sport. It's terrible. Everyone hates getting injured. I understand, that's a terrible thing to go through an injury. I wish no one gets injured. But it's just a part of the game. And for Dwight, it's going to be very hard, and I think they shouldn't put too much pressure on him to come back. I think it would be a disservice to him. Now, you can tell he wants to come back. If he wants to personally come back and he's really that passionate, then go for it. But if he's not really sure he can make a huge impact, then don't do it. I think that's a very iffy issue. They have to consider their future and consider what's going on right now and see if they even have a realistic shot of making it. They should have lost against Dallas at home. Let's be completely honest with. I mean. They should have lost at Dallas today. I'm being completely honest. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. But Dirk Nowitzki was going off today, and Vince Carter and company, they couldn't get it done with the complimentary players. And Dirk, he did everything he possibly could, but they just couldn't pull out enough punches to gut that one through. So I think the Lakers really put themselves in a predicament here. I think they should shut it down. They need to rebuild. I don't think this should be a playoff year for the Lakers. It's going to take a lot, because it's just going to take way too much out of guys like Antoine Jameson and Metta World Peace, who have gotten to that stage in their career where they can't push it to the limit. And even when they do get in the playoffs, it's not going to help. They're going to get swept by the Spurs or the Thunder. You're going to get swept by the Spurs or the Thunder anyways, so why do you believe that you even have a shot? Now, I know as a competitor, you don't believe that you're ever going to get swept. But reality is, you're going to get swept either by Oklahoma City or San Antonio if you dare to get into the big dance. That's just reality. That's just what it is in Lakerland, and they need to understand that. And Lakers, I think they should try to rebuild and just try to blow this season out, because it was a terrible season. It was a very, very bad, poorly managed season all the way around, and they couldn't get it done this year, and they shouldn't even go try for it. They're not going to the NBA Finals. They're not going to the Western Conference Finals. They're not going to the Western Conference Semifinals, so they shouldn't even try to do so. I think they should try to rebuild, and I think they should try to move on from what's been going on over the course of this year. So, gotta make that decision quick. Lakers, what are you going to do? Do you think you have a chance? I say no. A lot of people say no. And I'm going to go with my opinion here. No, no, no. And even if they do, they don't have enough firepower off the bench that they have, and they don't have the youth necessary to beat San Antonio or Oklahoma City. So, no way, no how. I'm going to say Lakers don't make the playoffs. All right, let's move on. Andrew Bynum. Practice? He's going to practice? Of course he is. Friday, he will be going to practice. Now, some of you may be saying, what? He's actually coming back? But he is practicing with the 76ers. He did on Friday. Not next Friday, but 2 days ago. He went to practice. And, you know, look, Bynum, it's a tough injury he's got to go through. Okay? A bilateral bone bruise and weakened cartilages in both knees. Okay, it's not just a one knee issue they can get over with. It's both knees, which makes it even worse. So, I mean, you know, he oftentimes practicing 5-on-5. Okay, he did a little bit of that. Or no. Yeah, he's going to resume practicing if he did not experience any pain on Saturday, so we have to wait for that. To me, I think they should shut him down too. And I know you're saying, oh, why do you want to shut down Bynum and Howard? Who do you think you are? Well, look, 76ers, if you look at them right now, I just, they've been going, to me, I mean, I know this is terrible as competitors, but they should try, I'm not saying try to lose, but they shouldn't, I don't want to say try to win, because that's a terrible thing to say as a competitor, but if they get not that great of a record, they can get a better draft pick and possibly get another playmaker on their squad. So, do you want to play for the draft, or do you want to play for the playoffs? Which is the big question. I know, you should go for the playoffs, and I understand that. But the 76ers should be more concerned about their future than, I know they're the 9th seed, they should be more focused about their future than what they have right now. Okay? Bynum's going to be the key. They should just let him rehab, just get ready for next season. Okay? Just take this season out and let him start fresh next season. Then everything will be fine. But until then, you just gotta wait. Because with the 76ers, look, they fight hard every night. I gotta credit these guys a lot. I mean, I know you say, oh, every NBA team fights hard every night. True, but not on a consistent basis all the time. With the 76ers, you see that passion, especially with the way Doug Collins has treated this squad, and just when you put it all together, I'm surprised the 76ers have been this successful, to be quite honest with you. They've really done a great job, and I have to give a lot of credit, but I don't think they should be really focusing for the playoffs, because I don't think they would go far if they went into the playoffs anyway. So I just think that they should focus on the future and see what they can get, and then when that happens, if they can get a huge playmaker in the draft, it would just really help, or see what they can get from free agency. I think they should wait. They should honestly wait and see what they can do. And I personally, that's just what I think they should do. And I hope they consider, I hope they think about it, because I hope they find a way to get somebody quickly. They need more playmakers. They do not have a true superstar. I know people say Andrew Bynum's a superstar. Okay, fine. Let's put him in that No, I don't want to put Andrew Bynum in that category. I just hate the way he plays. And I'm not trying to be mean here, but his transition defense is awful. Awful. His defense is really, in my opinion, not as good as people say it is. I mean, his offensive skills down low are pretty good. He doesn't seem like a high-character guy. I just really don't like that about him. I feel like he almost, I don't want to question his not his toughness, but his character. But sometimes I feel like he's not serious about the game at times, and I just worry for him, and especially for the 76ers and how they're going to handle that. So I think they need to get someone from free agency or a playmaker quickly. They've got to do that. They've got to at least do something like that in order to put themselves in a better position, because they, again, with this coach, Doug Collins is not a scrub or anything. Doug Collins is not any of your, any run-in-the-mill average NBA coach. This guy's a top quality head coach in this league, and he can carry you to the promised land. So I think they've got a good structure in place. They just need the pieces. They've got good aspirations and everything's there, all their goals. They just need that. They just need a few playmakers. They've got the complementary players, but they need those playmakers in order to be successful. Whether it's offense or defense or even both. I mean, offense and defense, both. If they can get another superstar, that'd be truly amazing for that organization. For them, I want the 76ers to do well. I mean, they haven't been to the finals ever since the Allen Iverson days, so I think they deserve it. I think they truly deserve an opportunity to go to the finals because their fans, they're very passionate and they care about the organization dearly. Just have to credit them. Have to credit everything that they've done as an organization. So, you know what? Let's take a quick timeout. A quick timeout on the Hardwood. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about, are the Thunder a championship team? I say they'll make it to the finals, but they'll lose again. And I'll tell you why in 30 seconds. 19 minutes after the hour. We talk so much about ball movement, especially on this program, but, with the Thunder, I talked about this before, are the Thunder a championship team? Now, some of you say, oh, yeah, they are. They're going to win the finals this year. No, this is why they're not winning the NBA finals this year. And I have a feeling it's going to be the same rematch with Miami and Oklahoma City. I feel like Miami, I feel like Miami's unstoppable right now. I mean, yes, there's Indiana, Chicago, if and when they get Derrick Rose back. Hey, Indiana's tough. Indiana has all the pieces necessary. They've got Granger back. Granger's getting healthy. They're going to be perfect for the playoffs. Now, I just think the Heat have the best complementary players in the league and the best role players in the league. I think that's what really separates them from everybody else. And then with that James Wade-Bosh dynamic, we know how that goes. And Eric Spoelstra's finally got this offense to be a more ball-moving or unit. So I just have to say, Oklahoma City, they do not move the basketball at all. They don't challenge the defense in my mind. To me, they're one of those teams, and I hate these teams. They're like the Clippers in a way. Just zero. I mean, it's like hardly any passing whatsoever. Constant ISO. Let me do my one-on-one moves. Everyone get out of the way. It doesn't work against tough defensive teams. Oklahoma City got blown out at home against Miami because they couldn't move the basketball laterally and challenge this defense. They just do ISO with Durant, ISO with Westbrook. ISO with Durant. ISO with Westbrook. Let's see what Westbrook can do here. Give it to Durant, everyone get out of the way. Give Durant a half-hearted screen, and let's see if he can pull up a 35-foot jumper. It's not good basketball. And some of you say, well, they still make their shots. They're still a high-scoring team. That's true. But 26 other teams in the league on any given night can't defend the Westbrook-Durant dynamic because they're ridiculous scorers. But when you have defenders like Wade and James who are unbelievingly good laterally and have ridiculous lateral quickness and have active hands in the passing lane, of course you're not going to make plays. Of course you're not going to score a lot. Of course a lot's not going to go. Of course you're not going to knock down that jumper from 35 feet out. Don't expect that you can hit that jumper from 35. Don't expect that you can hit that 15-foot pull-up. Westbrook, don't expect that you can go 1-on-5. Durant, don't try to do a post-up fadeaway, one-legged jumper and think it's going to go in every time. Don't try to attack the lane and force the issue, Westbrook, and run over people and it's going a charge in the other way and expect to get victories. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in the NBA Finals. It doesn't work that way in the NBA playoffs. I'm going to be quite honest with you. Game 6 in San Antonio, Western Conference Finals, if James Harden didn't shoot the living daylights out of the gym, they don't move on. James Harden was coming off of screens, pulling up from 5 feet above the three-point line, acting like it was a normal jumper and stroking it. It doesn't work that way. There needs to be ball movement because ball movement beats people movement. When you move the basketball, when you cut, when you move without the basketball, the defense has to move. The defense has to have perfect defensive principles. You need to screen away. You need to cut in front of your defender so you can get easy buckets. That's offense. Offense is not fadeaway jumpers that are realistic, that are unrealistic and bad shot selection, but when they go in, everyone claps for you, but when they go out, people call you a choke. Isn't that a disappointment in basketball society? Something that we should reconsider. Like, when I see Kobe Bryant shoot a basketball, shoot a fadeaway from 30 feet out, I'm like, hey, that's a really bad shot. Yes, he made it, but that's a really bad shot. I know he practices those angles. I know he practices those fadeaways, but I mean, some of you are saying, stop being so disrespectful to a Hall of Famer. You can't even hit those pull-ups. You can't. I know that. I can't hit those fadeaways. I never said I could. But sitting from a distance, I know good shot selection from bad shot selection, and Kobe Bryant takes bad shot selection most of the time. Now they go in, so they consider it good shot selection. But whenever he misses, people are saying, oh, why did he take that? Why did he take that tough shot? Or whenever Durant misses a game winner, a possible game winner on a fadeaway, and then the next night he drains it. People are like, oh, now look at Kevin Durant. KD, I'm going to go, I'm the new KD. It's like, come on, really? I like Kevin Durant a lot, but when he takes those shots, that's nauseating to me. Same with Kobe Bryant. This is why I really appreciate LeBron and Michael more. Michael Jordan and LeBron James more than Kobe and Durant. Because the thing with Michael and LeBron is that they knew good shot selection from bad shot selection more than Kobe and Durant. I know Kobe and Durant can make those jumpers, but I just hate it when they take those shots. I really do. I hate those fadeaways. I hate those ones from 35 feet out, coming off of a double team and banking it in. I hate it when Durant does that. I hate it. It just bothers me. It bothers me. And I know it's not going to work because it's never worked. It's never worked. When you don't have ball movement and offense, it never works. You'll never beat Miami without ball movement. You'll never beat Miami without ball movement. The Thunder thought they could do it last year. Nuh-uh. Can't do it. You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous to believe that the Oklahoma City Thunder will win the finals this year without ball movement. They've got to drastically change their offense and move the basketball around before they'll be a championship contender. And a lot of people are putting it, not a championship contender, but winning the NBA Finals. A lot of people are saying, well, you know what? What happens if, Westbrook needs to pass the basketball? No, it's not Westbrook. And I hate blaming Scotty Brooks because he's a great defensive coach. He really is. That's why the Thunder made the finals last year. They had facilitators and defenders. In my opinion, Kendrick Perkins is a top 5 post defender. Laugh at me all you want, but Kendrick Perkins, my God, we should have a blooper reel on this show because of how many times I botch names and just gone by like in 1,000 miles per hour when I'm speaking. But look, Kendrick Perkins is a great post defender. He can post defend Dwight Howard. He can post defend Andrew Bynum. He shut down Andrew Bynum in last year in the Western Conference semifinals. He can shut down anybody on the block. Kendrick Perkins. I know that for sure. Durant, solid defender. Westbrook, amazing defender. Thabo Sefolosha, world-class defender. Reggie Jackson, world-class defender. Nick Collison, gutty defender. Serge Ibaka, really. Not Ibaka, he's just changed his name to Ibaka from Ibaka. It's gotten ridiculous now how many times he gets rejections all over the place. It's just seemingly ridiculous. Everywhere he goes, he's like Dikembe Mutombo. Anything you put up, swatted away into the stands. You have to go literally in his chest to not get rejected. Soft layups don't work in the lane when Ibaka's there. He's swatting to the 10th row. So, kudos to the Thunder defense. Offensive ball movement, terrible, needs improvement. I know I'm critical, but it's the truth. That's how Miami slaughtered them in Oklahoma City. And sorry, Oklahoma City, you're not going to win the NBA Finals this year because of the lack of ball movement you guys have as a unit. It's unfortunate. It's going to take some time, though. It took Miami some time, and it's going to take Oklahoma City some time. Alright, let's move on, and we'll discuss the Andrew Bogut injury. Again? What's going on with Bogut? I'll talk about that shortly. This is The Hardwood with Cameron Sadeghi. Back here, Andrew Bogut. The woes continue. The injuries. I feel so bad for Bogut. Bogut is very underrated. Very underrated. One of the more underrated centers that you'll find in today's NBA. That's how good the guy is. Just how good he is. Andrew Bogut. He's out indefinitely with back spasms. He couldn't play against San Antonio. They still got the victory. Hey, I think we need to come up with the We Believe shirts again with the Golden State Warriors. I am crazy about the Warriors and the Nuggets. Those are my. I'm just speaking on a personal note. My two favorite Western Conference teams are the Nuggets and the Warriors. Those are my two favorite Western Conference teams. They are so much fun to watch. Every game, the Warriors and the Nuggets, guaranteed. You'll get your money's worth. If you're going to go to an NBA game soon, make sure it's either versus the Warriors or versus the Nuggets, or Warriors versus the Nuggets. Let me tell you, you'll get everything that you expected. They play hard every night. Not just that. Denver and Golden State's defensive principles have improved. And their offenses have just so much. It's so pure, their offense. Their half-court sets, everyone moving the ball, everyone cutting perfectly, everyone getting good shots, no fadeaways, no terrible shots. They just don't have a superstar. Both teams just don't have a superstar yet. That's the only thing that really separates them from championship contention. That's all. Other than that, they're solid teams. And they should be respected for. It's unfortunate why people don't respect both teams. I think they're ridiculously good. But getting back to the point, I'm getting carried away. Andrew Bogut. Injuries. Look, Mark Jackson said he had the MRI earlier Friday. The team has not released the results yet. You know, I feel so... Look, he's only played 12 games this year. He hasn't gotten healthy yet. If Bogut is healthy by playoff time, I think the Warriors can make an upset. I think the Warriors can upset a team in the West. They are that good, in my opinion. They are that solid of a team. Mark Jackson and his defensive philosophy, with these offensively skilled players who move the ball so well, and the complementary players, the underrated Carl Landry. David Lee is even underrated. Klay Thompson, pure from downtown. Stephen Curry, pure. Jarrett Jack, winner. All Jarrett Jack does is win. Great team leader to have. He's a great bench team leader. You know, that's what you need from teams. You need that veteran experience. And I feel like the Warriors, yes, they don't have Monte Ellis. I get it. People are still, oh, where's Monte? Look, they are still good now. With the addition of Jarrett Jack. This is the most underrated addition. To me, Jarrett Jack and Carl Landry on that team are the two most underrated elements of that team. Carl Landry is one of the most consistent players in the NBA. Now, some of you may say, well, then why doesn't Carl Landry, why isn't he a superstar or an all-star? No. He doesn't put up 20 and 10 every night. He doesn't put up huge numbers. But when he goes in, it's efficient play. He makes positive plays every single time down the floor. He takes good shots. He plays solid defense against the other man. And he's got that 15-foot jumper that never ends, that always drains. So, good for you, Carl Landry. Good for you, Jarrett Jack. Jarrett Jack's a tough guy. Jarrett Jack is a guy that I would want on my team any day, regardless of the team. Any day of the week, I want Jarrett Jack on my team. the Warriors are that, to me, in my opinion, that top notch. So, if they can get Bogut healthy and Bogut, ready to go, this could be something special with the Warriors. And I know this is very extremist, but the Warriors will be championship contenders in 2 years. I'm going to make that bold prediction, and I'll wear that prediction all the way out. You can book it. The Warriors will be championship contenders 2 years from now. If they can get a superstar by this free agency, they will possibly a championship contender next season. That's how good their players are, and that's how good their system is, especially with Mark Jackson. That's how much I believe in this team. And I hope you believe in this too. We believe. And by the way, I'm not biased. You'll notice this with me. Every single NBA season, I always have that team that I really like, that is underrated. It's a dark horse. They're my dark horse. Last year, my dark horse was the Nuggets. I mean, they're still a great team. I still like them. But this year, my dark horse is the Warriors. I think they can make some huge noise in the playoffs this year. They've really got the pieces. They really, really, really do. Let's take another break, and we're going to discuss Tony Parker. Is he an MVP candidate? Yes, but many are saying he should be he should be the MVP. Should he? Should he not? Well, guess what? In 30 seconds, I'll tell you what I think. Back here, well, sorry for the voice crack. On the Hardwood with Cameron Sadeghi. So, Tony Parker, MVP? I don't know. Skippy Bayless said, I know he's kind of the rear end of jokes. Skippy Bayless. Charles Barkley said it. What do I think? I say no. Tony Parker, as great as he's played this year, this has been a golden year of MVP candidates. You've got LeBron, who's just playing out of his mind. He's just ridiculously good this year. Like he's been the last year. He's just on a tear, LeBron. Kevin Durant, defense has improved. Rebounding has improved. Passing has improved. His overall game has improved. Kobe Bryant, he's still, trying to carry the team. Chris Paul, really carrying the Clippers, doing a solid job there. And then you got Parker. Parker had the upper hand. And, look, again, I know LeBron gets the MVP a lot, and he's gotten it over the course of time a lot. But you cannot go out there and say that we can't just completely disregard what LeBron James has done. And you know what? Personally, I kind of want Tony to win one. Because LeBron's kind of just been winning a bunch, and you can't blame him. He's been playing great, okay? But you kind of want to give someone else another chance. However, if this is the 1 year to give LeBron the MVP, it's definitely this one. He is the most balanced player in the NBA, LeBron. Defense, offense. I've never seen a guy in this era who can play in this new era with Kobe and LeBron and Durant, who can be that balanced offensively and defensively. No one in my life. in this era. I'm not saying he's better than Jordan, by the way. I'm just saying in this era. When Kobe was in his prime, he did not have the same, in my opinion, complete games like LeBron has. Durant, we haven't seen it yet because he's not really truly in his prime. I need to give Durant some time. He can really, be the next, change his whole gameplay and replicate the same numbers as LeBron, and really play that same type of fashion. But he's just so balanced offensively and defensively. He takes the best guy and shuts him down on defense. And then he's such a good team defender and such a good communicator, and the vision on the floor. And he just, every single game, he enhances the performance of his teammates before himself, which is really, really, it just speaks volumes about how good this guy is and what he brings and what he offers to the table and how great this guy is on the basketball floor. So I gotta give it to LeBron. And look, Parker, you've been playing fascinating. I mean, Tony Parker, he has done such a great job with changing speeds, passing, facilitating, defensively. I just can't blame anyone for saying he should be the MVP, but LeBron, I mean, he's just going on a classic tear. And I've just got to go with Miami's own LeBron James. So, I'm going to go with LeBron, if that's okay with you. I think it will, but a lot of people say, why do you give so much? I mean, a lot of people say you're a LeBron lover. You just love everything LeBron does and you hate everyone else. Not true. Not true. I've never seen a guy, because when you play the game, and I don't have that much experience in the game, but playing on teams, so on and so forth, it's so hard to have such a dominance on the game, not just from a scoring aspect or maybe just a defensive aspect, but just completely controlling the tempo of the game the way LeBron does. There's no guy in the NBA who controls the tempo like LeBron James does. He controls the tempo beautifully. He knows when to go, when to stop, what's a good shot, what's a bad shot. It's just so... He's, in my opinion, the most pure player in the NBA. So, I gotta go with King James. Let's take a break. We'll be back and discussing the NBA playoff picture. This is the Hardwood with Cameron Sadeghi. NBA division breakdowns, or just the playoff picture I want to tell you. I'm going to tell you the playoff picture. I'm going to tell you 1 through 8, who's number 1, who's through 8 in both conferences, and then I'll give you my sleepers, and then we'll be ready to go. And then I'm going to replay this show at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So, Miami, they're the number 1 seed. 10-game winning streak. They are really, really hot. They're flaming right now. Indiana, they're the 2nd seed. I talked about how good they are. I think they could really challenge Miami. New York, they could be a team that could challenge Miami. However, they're on a really not so great 4-game losing streak right now. Brooklyn, playing right now against the Grizzlies. They're going to be alright, but wouldn't be surprised if they lose in the first round. Chicago, they're the 5th seed. They need Rose to come back, but they're playing great defensively. Atlanta, playing good basketball. Josh Smith issues all over the place with the trade, but didn't trade him at the deadline, so they'll make the playoffs. Boston, they they've been playing really well as of late. 7-3 in the last 10. Milwaukee, they're hanging on with Ellis and Jennings. Philly, they've really been in a slump with a 4-game losing streak. And Toronto, they have won 7 of the last 10 ever since Rudy Gay has come into Toronto. It's a different town and different basketball town. They're so great right now. I gotta give some credit there with the Toronto move. I think Toronto can actually get in the playoffs with the 8th seed. I really think they could possibly do it. I think they're playing really on fire right now, and they've got a great group of talent there. And Dwayne Casey has done a great job leading the troops in Toronto. Then you got in the Western Conference, San Antonio, Oklahoma City at the 2, Clippers 3, Memphis 4, Denver 5, Golden State at 6, Utah at 7, and the Houston Rockets at 8, the Lakers at the 9, Dallas 10th. So I gotta say Golden State and Denver, the sleepers there. I think Memphis can really provide a challenge for Oklahoma City in the playoffs as well as San Antonio. I think that could be a team that could possibly be a championship contender. And I think Oklahoma City at the end of the day comes out of the West, and they will be in the NBA Finals. So thank you very much for listening. We really appreciated it. And like always, hasta luego.